So let's begin with our first small use case. We will be looking at data products. So I click on this button and I can get a whole list of data products. I can explore them by category. I can filter them by different parameters. But so let's, for the sake of the story, let's assume I'm someone in the marketing department and I'm looking for some data to understand our customer interactions on our website and provide a better, improved quality of experience, right? So I'm looking at the different data products here. I can see there's Customer Care Plus, there's Customer Data IQ, and there's a Conversion Craft. So there are a couple of CX Master. There's a couple of data products which gets my attention. I can look at the tags. I can see that they have some confidential information, some sensitive information, and I can look at this badge here, which shows me gold, silver, or bronze, which gives me an idea what the data value score, which Sue was explaining. So if I mouse over one of them, you can see how this score is calculated. So I can see that this gold has good quality, it's good ratings, and it's been curated well. So that's why it has an overall 90% score, which translates into a gold badge. So to continue our story, the next thing I want to do is I want to understand more about these couple of the data sets, data products I'm seeing here. So what I will do is I'll start comparing them. So I'll start picking the data products I want to add to my shopping cart or compare screen. And I have these 3 products here. And when I hit the compare button, it will provide me a side-by-side comparison. And again, it's one of the familiar views. The end users will be familiar from any shopping site like Amazon-like websites. So you compare the artifacts side by side, it's the exact same comparison, right? The exact same experience. So I can see which domain they belong to. I can see the definitions. I can see the overall ratings. And if I keep scrolling, I can see who are my data product owners, who are my stewards. And at the bottom, I have some additional insights. Like, for instance, I can understand the cost. I can understand what's the expected insight from this data product, etc. So this side-by-side comparison is really handy to quickly find what you're looking for. What's the fit for purpose type of data sets or data products. So let's assume after looking closer, I'm particularly interested in this data product, right? This Customer Care Plus. So what I will do as next is I'll click on it and I'll drill into some details. So now I'm looking at the data product called Customer Care Plus. I can look at the description. It says customer interaction, inquiries, and service requests. It sounds very nice. And as also Sue mentioned, a data product might consist of various artifacts, like it consists of various data sets or data reports, database tables. There are some definitions, business terms. There are some contracts and SLAs. If I want to have access, what are some of the SLAs I need to be aware of? There might be an AI model behind the scenes, generating some output, etc., etc. The best way to view these different artifacts is we usually go to Mind Map. It provides you a 360 view of the data product you are looking at. So I'm looking at this data Customer Care Plus product. On the left-hand side, I have all the business context. I can see the policies applying to that. There are some compliance policies. On the left-hand side, I can see what are some of the tables and columns participating to this. Just to explain easier, so I'll just expand them all. So you can see in the middle, we have our data product. On the left-hand side, I have all the technical assets. These are the tables and files and reports, whatever the physical artifacts we scan from the source systems. And on the right-hand side, you have all the business metadata, what we call not only the definitions, business rules, business policies, contracts, SLAs, data sharing agreements, etc., etc. All this information is available here with color coded, and you can see the different color codes, what they mean here in this small legend. So again, this view gives me a very good overview at a high level. It means like what happens if I request access to this data product, like what are some of the policies, what are the tables, etc. But let's assume if I want to drill in further, let's assume I'm really interested in where this data is coming from, how is it calculated. So I'd like to see the lineage. I'd like to drill into more details before I get my hands on this product, right? So what I will do is I'll just go to this table here, which shows me an overview of the overall data quality, and it has this red log icon here, which indicates it has some PII, some sensitive information in it. And I'll just click on this table to look at closer to the table definition. And again, I can see who are the technical owners of this table, who are my stewards, etc. But what I will do is in this demonstration, I will quickly go to the data lineage. Now it provides me an overview of how this data lineage looks like for this particular table I picked. I can see the source system is coming from SAP, some third-party flat files. I can see how this information has been modeled. Of course, we have Irwin at any given time. You can see the associated Irwin models to that. And as I go through this hubs, I can see that it goes through the staging area to the warehouse, and downstream it goes into some reports in my analytics environment. And all this information, what you see on the screen, is automatically built with our connectors. So we built the lineage automatically using our connectors. What I can do here is I can drill into any level of detail. I can drill into, let's say, column level information. I can blend in some additional information. I can say, yeah, you know, I'd like to see the sensitive information. It was showing me those log icons. So now I can see which fields are particularly flagged as PII. Or I can blend in the data quality score, right? I can see at a column level in the source system, in the target system, how the data quality is. I can blend in maybe the logical names coming from my logical model to make the diagram more readable. So I have a lot of different options on this view, which I'm not going to go too much in detail, but you guys get the idea. So I can drill into any level of detail of the product I'm looking at, and I can see everything, like how is it being calculated. I can even drill into the SQL code, the SQL stored procedures, or the ETL mappings, how this data is being transformed, the quality, the definitions, the sensitive information. I can see all of them in this view. So let's go back now. Let's assume this lineage view and this mind map view gives me the confidence I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, this is the data product I need. This looks great. I looked at all the information and it's gold standard. So what do I do next? The next thing I want to do is I want to get my hands on the data, right? So what I will do here is go to that task, and I have different options here, right? I can send it back to data preparation, or I can request a new data set. And by the way, all these tasks which I'm showing you on this screen, there is a workflow behind it, and we have a model first approach. Like imagine if I request a new data set, it goes all the way back to the modeling. Our architects and modelers, they look at the request, they model accordingly, and then that model gets pushed into this data intelligence catalog. We can create the mappings and the pipeline on the fly automatically, right? We can generate the ETL, we can generate the stored procedures if needed, and create that pipeline, push the data from the source to target, and make it available to the end user. So this marketplace is not only here to shop for the end products, but there are workflows and processes behind the scenes, all the way from the modeling to the mapping and the lineage and the automatically creation of the pipeline. We also provision the data. We have data prep tools like Toad, Datapoint. You guys, I'm sure you heard the word Toad. It's really a handy, slick tool. If you want to create a view quickly for a request, you can do it. So anyway, let's continue here. What I will do here, when I open the request access, but not going to fill in everything, but I can put a reason for access. Like I can say, hey, my name is Yetkin, I'm working on this project. Can I please get access to this data? It will go to these assigned users. And by the way, I have to agree to the terms of the conditions. I was showing you the data contracts in the previous screen, so I have to attest to those contracts to be able to request this data. So once this request is complete, we are not going to show it live here, but we can show it after. Once this request is approved, it will automatically grant me the permission to the assets which is deemed to be like, and maybe I get access to the Power BI report, or maybe a file in the Azure blob directory, or maybe I'll get access to the table. It will be decided based on the nature of the request, like what I'm trying to do. This workflow will take care of assigning me the permission, and it will also deliver me the data. Maybe it's a link to the Power BI report, maybe it's a link to a file, or maybe it's just attachment, a spreadsheet attachment, whatever is needed in this request. The data will be delivered back to me, and I can just get my hands on it and I can start working on it. So this is the end of our first script. And again, if we recap, so we looked at the data products, how they are constructed, how you can compare side by side, how you can drill into the details, any level of details, to get comfortable to decide this is what you are looking for. And then we will not stop there. So we will also provide, grant you the permissions and provide you the data. And then basically out of this product, you can do the data provisioning and also getting access to the data all in one place.